as we all know, it goes without saying, 2020 has been a new year for all of us. You know, none of us are health experts. I don't have a crystal ball. You know, I don't think you do either.
Nope,
Maybe you, I'm
it
not sure.
broke.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to, you know, advanced planning with the estate planning topics, you know, there's a lot of things to cover. But before we jump into some of the more recent areas of what's going on in the world, I thought we'd take a step back because back at the end of 2019, there was something that was enacted called the Secure Act.
Mhm.
And I feel like that impacted a lot of areas, not just for things that perhaps you help your clients with, or we help our clients with, but things that I think are really relevant to a lot of people. And with everything going on, I feel like a lot of that got put to the
Yeah.
you know, the back of the line for good reason, but there's things that I think it's important for folks to remember. So maybe, you know, since that was enacted, what are some of the biggest changes to estate planning that you've seen as a result of that?
Yeah, the Secure Act is a pretty huge deal when it comes to what you do and how you set up things for clients, as you know. And what we do as far as when somebody dies, the world has changed completely with regard to how, if they have a retirement plan, and quite frankly, most people do, of some type, how that's going to transfer to the next generation. So in kind of big picture world, if you are leaving a retirement plan to your kids, let's just say as an example, okay, it used to be that your kid could take that share of the retirement plan that you left them and open up a inherited or IRA with you, and they could take that money out of that IRA over their life expectancy. So if I'm 50 years old, I don't know life expectancy charts, 35, 40 years, maybe, I could spread those withdrawals out, right? And being a child of someone leaving me their IRA, that was helpful because you could invest that money, keep it growing, and I didn't get hit with income taxes all at once. Now with the Secure Act, if we're leaving a retirement plan to a child, there are some exceptions, okay, but I'm going to just start with leaving it to a child. They don't get to take it out over their life expectancy. And this country is about to see a really huge tax hit that a lot of people are not aware of. If my dad leaves me an IRA or part of his IRA, hopefully no time soon, but if he passes away, when he passes away and leaves me that, I don't get to take it out over my life expectancy anymore. I have to take it all out, my share or whatever it is, within 10 years. And people say, well, I don't want to. And it's like, you don't have any choice, okay? I don't have to take it all out in 1 year. I don't have to take it out in equal parts for 10 years, but I better empty that thing within 10 years. So what I've done is the government, Congress has condensed all that, forcing me to take it out. It's not the taking out is the problem, right? It's that it's taxable when I take it out. So now I'm going to increase probably my taxable income every year as I take it out. It might even put me into a higher tax bracket for 10 years. I don't know. Depends on how big the thing is. There aren't a lot of ways around this. There are some kind of more advanced planning, but it's something we need to look at with all of our clients and how they want to deal with this. There are exceptions to the 10-year rule. Spouse is one, disabled person is one, your own minor child is another exception. They get more of this, what we used to call stretch. But for most Americans, leaving it to your adult kids who are not disabled, we're going to be hit with a 10-year payout. And the government's going to do what they wanted to do, and that is make a whole bunch of money. And, you know, they could change this, but they just have to spend a bunch of money. So I'm guessing this isn't going away anytime soon.
Right. You know, those are really good points. I think that it's for those who feel like they don't need to plan or do anything for themselves. These are things that they're probably going to see a lot of us, right? A lot of people that have or will, for planned purposes or not planning for it, inherit assets that may drive the tax bill up if they're not prepared. So I think those who think that might happen to them, or there's a chance of it, should probably anticipate this or plan ahead just in case. Taking it a step further, thinking about some of the more, you know, families and individuals who have maybe larger estates, higher net worth, assets that they know they're not going to spend down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so in light of the Secure Act, in light of some of these considerations around taxes potentially being higher or impacting, what can they be doing from a planning standpoint in terms of maybe passing that wealth on? Obviously, the IRA rule, it's hard to get around, but other areas maybe around, gifting, charities,
Right.
set up trust in certain ways that might be able to, minimize this potentially. Anything around that that might be top of mind.
I think charity is a huge thing here, and that is, if I can now if I'm going to give charitable gifts at my death, it becomes even smarter now to leave IRA or retirement plan money to a charity, because my kid's going to get nailed with taxes if I leave it to them. Whereas I could take that bucket or some of that bucket and leave it to charity. The beautiful thing about charities, qualified charities, they don't pay income taxes. So if I'm going to give to charity anyway, why not take part of my retirement plan, give it to a charity, a donor advised fund that I've set up, or specific charities? It can go directly to charity. It doesn't have to be all fancy. Okay. You can just get with Mark, change the beneficiary, and leave some or all of that to charity. Some people would want to replace that money because they feel like they want to leave more to their kids. If they did, they can get a life insurance policy if they're insurable, right? So Mark, you can say, yeah, we're going to replace this money with life insurance, leave the IRA to the charity, get some life insurance on you if you're insurable, and leave that to your kids instead. So there are ways. I think charity is a big one. Gifting while you're alive, still available. If you have a taxable estate, currently the federal estate tax limit is $11.58 million a person, but that is going to change as well. It will for sure change in 2026 and settle back down somewhere around $6.5 million a person. And some would say that it will change even faster than that. If Congress wants to change it, they can change it. So I'm not going to sit here and try to guess what Congress is going to do. And I try not to do that because I think it's just frustrating for people. But anyway, there are ways to plan around, and charitable giving, getting your assets out of your estate while you're alive, also other opportunities.